Good morning, guys. And this is Keri with Heavenly Host. And I just wanted to hop on and share some exciting news with Heavenly Host. So, first off, let's talk about obedience and how important obedience truly is. We overcome by the blood of the Lamb and by our testimony that we carry. And I have really been on a journey for the last few months where I felt released in this season from recording on Heavenly Host. We've had a lot of positive changes, a lot of just promotions, a lot of knowledge and growing in the Lord and in our marriage, in our family. And so I really took a small step back and I was waiting on the Lord to release me to record again. And although about a month ago, him and me and the Lord, and it's never good to wrestle with the Lord, but I started wrestling with him and my flesh about recording. If you are like me, sometimes you might struggle with feeling like you don't reach enough, or you're not reaching the right person, or you're not doing enough. Like it's almost like the spirit of striving. And we don't have to do anything to really just walk in obedience. We don't have to strive. It is exhausting, it is tiring. And so I really was just wrestling with the Lord, like, God, how am I going to make time for this? How am I going to do this? Like, I've got so much going on. But at the end of the day, the Lord's been revealing to me that through distractions, that really steals your destiny. The enemy doesn't have to attack you if he can keep you distracted from doing the things that the Lord has called you to do. So, just a little testimony for me. One of my very best friends, Kaylin Henson, she has mantles for the marketplace. And she posted on Facebook the other day after going back and forth in my mind and with God about recording again, that she felt like she wasn't reaching anybody and that her podcast it wasn't doing anything. It wasn't serving the kingdom of God pretty much. And so she decided but she posted anyways and recorded anyways. And so she got stopped by, I believe she said a stranger. And the stranger told her how amazing it was and how much it helped her. And so she shared that on Facebook. But she said through that, she got the revelation, that how important it was to be obedient and to do what God's called you to do, even if it's only reaching one person. Because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter how many people you're reaching as long as you're reaching the people that God has called you to reach. And so she posted that on Facebook and then I read it and I was like, oh my Lord, like how many times do I feel that way? And that has kept me from recording again. But then I took a step back and I was like, but how many people reach out and tell me how much has helped them to thank you for posting that? That was exactly what they needed to hear. But I think we kind of get in our mind sometimes and think because it's not a high number that we're not serving the kingdom of God, when it doesn't matter what the number is, as long as it's the number and the person that God has intended on you reaching. And it might look like you have one follower, but that one follower might be the very person that God uses to reach somebody else. So, through that and through her testimony, it set me free from the lies of the enemy in my mind that I wasn't doing enough, that I wasn't worthy, it wasn't worth it. And so I'm here to tell someone today how important it is to be obedient and to release the testimony, because her testimony, had she not been obedient and released that, like she felt urged to from the Lord or nudged to from the Lord, then I wouldn't have read it and I wouldn't have been set free in that area in my mind. And so the wrestle with God stopped. And that's all it takes, guys, is obedience and to share whatever, to release the word, release the prophecy, release the testimony, and to not let the fear of man or what people think or your numbers make you feel inadequate or unworthy. Because at the end of the day, I can honestly tell you that some of the greatest things that I've done for the kingdom of God was behind closed doors where hardly nobody knew, but it reached one person, or it was a conversation with one person that set them free, that in turn, I mean, even on this podcast, like I've truly learned so much